And hello everyone, welcome back to twitch.tv/ChargeSimRacing. Here we are for our latest weekly round of weekly fun action. Here we are at the fantastic BridgeHampton circuit, which I actually don't know where it is, but I believe it's probably somewhere in America. We're back again with the very cool BMW M1 E30 Gr.A. Some fantastic, very 90s, lots of power, not really great tyres. This car is all about a lot of momentum and just keeping it going, keeping the power down. A lot of really high speed, wobbly, bumpy, scary corners on this track. So it's about who can keep the power down the best and who's going to just keep the car's momentum going. I was talking to Alan and the boys earlier on in the voice chat, and Alan was finding a lot of time around this circuit just by keeping the momentum going and getting the pitch of the car just right through the corners, and that's going to be key today for success. As we have our championships on right now, the CRM Championship, our 1980s Group 5 Sports Cars Championship, and our CRC, which is a modern BMW M2, running modern counterparts of the DRM Circuits Championships going on. We have a few people less in the weeklies than we have had over the last couple months, but as we saw last week with the GT500s at Autopolis, we had fantastic racing despite the lower numbers, and I'm sure we're going to get that again today. Despite the smaller numbers, we still have some fantastic drivers. We've got Zeif, we've got Redshift, we've got Alan, we've got Everystone, we've got Bogdan, a lot of really good drivers. Michael Ziomi just making his appearance too, so and Iceman as well, continuing his fantastic form of the last couple of weeks. He's been doing real good. Jikuzek says time for a break from CRM. I hope you've been practicing hard. Hopefully you'll get a bit more luck in Zolder next week. You won't be rear-ended by Stefan. Was it you or Driptex who was unfortunately Stefaned off the line? Unfortunately, there were some moderator atrocities committed in the CRM round from Österreich Ring, including me binning it into the pits and losing third. Oh well. It wasn't a good day for the Charge staff, I have to say. But I'm looking forward to a really fantastic race today. This is going to be a scary track. There's not a whole lot of runoff, not even curbs on most of these corners. If you run wide, you are going to be smacking into the sand. Hello, Nuji. And oh, it was Driptex who got Stefaned, unfortunately. Oh, your PC crashed halfway. Hopefully we can look at getting you some optimization stuff that will help you out. I know poor Ren, he had a really busy weekend. He was doing double duty this weekend, running at the Fuji 1000 kilometers and also taking part in a Le Mans 24. And he was doing really well in both of the races. He was kind of hopping between them. And after a really good run, I think he went from 8th to 4th in his Le Mans race, his CPU overheated and his computer shut down. And I believe his CPU springs were balked, and he had to cable tie his cooling fan back onto his CPU, and it just about worked. I'm just going to turn up the game audio a little bit so you can hear a bit more what's going on. But yeah, I think he got decent results. I believe he came third in the Fuji 1000 kilometers, and I think he came 7th or 8th in the end at Le Mans, which is a shame because his team could have done so much better. And I tell you what, you want to talk about bad luck today. Poor Zeif and Alex V were running in 2nd place in the Fuji 1000 kilometers, and they had a disconnect with about 4 laps to go and ended up coming in 7th. So not a particularly lucky week for the Charge staff members in their various racing endeavours elsewhere, but I'm sure the weekly is a nice opportunity to do some guilt-free driving and commit some auto assault. But these cars looking fantastic today as Bot 212 just having a little bit of a spinella in the dust. We have the same level of luck. Yeah, unfortunately racing, its luck gives as much as it takes away. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. Like, I was very lucky in the shakedown for CRM, where the 2 drivers who I expected to finish ahead of me ended up dropping out, and I ended up getting 2nd. But then last week I should have been in 3rd, but I binned it in the pit lane and blew my engine up and came 7th. Boo. Well, there's always next week. I'm looking very much forward to Zolder, and I tell you what, oh, how good was the CRC race on Wednesday? I don't know if any of you saw it, but oh my word, definitely go back and check out the VOD for that one. That race was just absolute constant nail-biting, huge packs of cars, 4 wide, trading places, and absolutely going for it the whole race. It was super clean. We had like only 1 or 2 little shunts in the whole race. Everyone was fantastic. That was some of the best racing we've ever seen in Charge, and I cannot wait for CRC at Zolder again, because it's going to be who's bravest over those chicanes, who's going to break the latest. It's going to be top. Speaking of top, Alan hasn't got a lap in, very surprisingly. I've heard Alan is very fast. I've also heard that Everystone is very fast this week as well, so definitely watch out. We currently have Bogdan in provisional third place, nearing towards the end of practice. Of course, Bogdan is always a good staple in the weeklies, he's always up there, and I expect in a couple more laps, once Redshif's got to grips with it, he will definitely be up there as well. So even despite the small numbers, we're going to have lots of action. As I say that, Everystone takes second place, and I've heard he's very quick this week, so lots more to come. And you are, of course, watching twitch.tv/ChargedSimRacing. This is the home of all charged content online. We have a fantastic amount of stuff every single week. We have weekly race on Sunday. We have our Fun Monday casual event. We have 2 championships running on Wednesdays and Fridays. So there's 4 streams a week at the moment. God, we are busy. Jikuzek, I drove this track for like 2 laps, so I'll be driving as a safety car KW. Well... I didn't even try it this week, to be honest. I've been so busy with CRM, I was like, I'll just commentate. But yeah, twitch.tv/ChargedSimRacing, the home of all charged content. Definitely join our Discord if you are not on there already, discord.me/charged. If you want to come and join the fun, we have a fantastic community. Over 700 members. I think we're getting up to 750 now. A whole bunch of fantastic content. We have loads of sim racing. We do other games as well. There's a whole lot of Armour and Minecraft and War Thunder and a whole bunch of stuff that goes on every week. People hanging out in the voice chat every day. We got top memes. We got all kinds of fun stuff. It's a very cool place to be. I'm too hot, but I have spare time now, so I thought, why not? Yeah, go for it. I am sitting here... Oops, sorry, I just clinked to my microphone. That's not very nice. I'm sitting here with my fan on. It is hot as hell. And Dirt Rally 2. How could I forget Charge Rally, which has been starting back up again this week. I know Nuji's a big old fan of that one, so looking forward to seeing some more rally action. I am roasting today. I know there is a stereotype that English people can't handle hot weather, but it is absolutely true. And you know what? I'm so miffed because about a week and a half ago... we had it was so cold here. I had my heating on in Liverpool, and we seem to have just skipped spring and gone from having the heating on to having the fan on. So my electricity and gas bill is loving it. Oh, we also have the drift server as well, which has been a recent addition. Of course, we always have fun things to do in the off time, and there's been a lot of cool drifting going on lately. We also have the free roam server Elmo as well, which is just for casual driving and chilling. Lots of fun activities you can do while hanging out in voice chat with the boys. Jikusek says it is now his last charge race on Old Wheel. What wheel are you getting, bro? I want to find out. Yeah, I am not adept at drifting either. I am very bad. I'm good at drifting behind the safety car and annoying Fyodor, getting too close trying to warm my tyres up, but that's about it. Oh, T300 RSGT. Very nice. March deal. Let's go. Oh, I've just realised I've committed a sin. I do not have Bogdan's livery on. I'm going to go and download that in between the break from free practice and qualifying. So after free practice, Bogdan is currently sitting the fastest with Everystone second and Zyf third. But watch out, because it's definitely going to hot up in qualifying. I'll be back in just 1 second. I'll leave you. I'll be back in just 1 second. I'm just loading Bogdan's livery. Okay, and we should be good to go. I've seen it loading on my game, so we'll just wait for AC to load back in. Sniper, I imagine just lubricating up your pedals shouldn't violate your warranty. You shouldn't need to disassemble them to get in there. Oh, we've seen some argy-bargy with Redshift and Zypher having a little bonk coming out the pits, of course, fighting for track position. Redshift saying, I want the clean air, get out of my way, lad. But you should be able to. What I would recommend is get a syringe. If you can get one with a needle on, you can get blunt needles. You haven't got to get them from a medical place. You can buy blunt needles online. They're good for lubricating stuff. Lubricating things with. You can put some mineral oil. I have just plain mineral oil, which I use for a whole bunch of things, and put a little tiny bit of that in a syringe and just drop a few drops on the syringe as far down as you can into the potentiometer. That will help. Or the mechanism even, not so much the potentiometer, but yeah, that will definitely help smooth it up. If you put oil in the potentiometer, you're going to have a dirty potentiometer that's going to collect dust and start crackling, so don't do that. Yeah, everyone's rushing out to sit there to get out and get some. Zypher and Redshift are still side by side here. They want track position and there's some contact. Redshift having a big old drift there. I wonder who will win out between these two getting track position first. So and coming around the final corner, it's quite a long lap here, I have to say. So it's getting on for about 1 minute 45 for some cars. I know some guys have been into the 130s up the front, but quite a long lap. It's deceptively long. It looks like quite a short track, but it's just all pure power. Echo, James? Are we hearing... hang on, let me just check. Do we have something on that shouldn't be on? We do. I will just fix that. Thank you. This should be... let me just fix that. I think, again, it's because we have one Streamlabs account that we share between different commentators. We all log into it at the same time. We have different presets for our microphones. I think I have hotkeys that turn mine on and off. And I think I just turned on one that turned on a different microphone. It's funny because that one's mono, so it only comes out the left ear and it's super creepy. But anyway, still no flying laps coming in yet. The best lap so far is a 1:49 from Redshift, which is straight out the pits. But he is currently 9 seconds up on his flying lap out the pits, so let's see what Redshift can do. Of course, Redshift cruelly denied a maiden victory in the first round of the CRM Championship. He had a little bit of a spin late on, and a charging Patrese was just waiting to capitalise, and he passed and took the victory, of course. It was a bit of an unlucky day for Mike Hawk Racing, my team, which I'm driving in with Redshift, and I should have been third, and I binned it in the pits. And then Redshift should have won, and he spun and came second. So I think we're still provisionally first in the team's championship, but I would like the gap to be a bit bigger, so next week for Zolder, get ready. And that's a whopping 38.8 from Redshift. That's a super fast time. But Bogdan goes even faster with a 38.692. So it is looking nice and close already up the front, but I'm sure these laps will improve as Anemone racks in a 141.809. Bogdan's coming back out the pits to go again. A lot of these guys running soft tyres here. Alan, interestingly, taking the mediums. I know that Alan was finding that there wasn't a massive difference in grip between the compounds, and just that the harder ones were a bit better thermally, as Gumi gets a big old drift there, looking very classy. Iceman sitting in third place currently, just under 3 seconds off the pace of Bogdan, and Bogdan seems to have put it in the wall. I think he's still continuing on, he's not gone back to the pits. Michael Ziomi also getting into a little bit of trouble there, just catching some of that gravel. Redshift improves his time, but he's still just behind Bogdan, only finding about a tenth of a second there. He's still just 4.5 hundredths off, as Everystone joins the top three with a 39.9. A couple drivers finding a little bit of the gravel. Maybe they're just finishing their laps and going back to the pits, or they are having a little bit of trouble out there. But we have plenty of time left in qualifying, full 15 minutes, so we have a new pole sitter, and that is Alan with a 38.5. That's a banging lap there, putting himself a good 3/10 clear of Bogdan and Redshift. So I know Alan's been feeling really confident in the car this week, and Zeif was absolutely amazed at his pace earlier. So Alan looking really strong, potentially doing the double repeat on victory. Of course, Alan was the winner last week with the GT500s at Autopolis. I believe he won the first race, and Alex V won the second race, I believe, but Alan won the overall mini championship with the most points. Zeif now on track, trying to get a good lap in. He hasn't actually got one in yet, so let's see what Zeif can do. And not much changing. We still have a lot going on in qualifying. People still out on track looking to improve their lap times and make their way up the grid. But with a grid this small this week, it does not particularly matter. For example, if you're at the back or you're in the midfield and you should be at the front, you're starting 7th or 8th. Not as bad as if there were 25 cars and you were starting 16th. So there is hope for everyone today. Oh, and Foes92 has subscribed with Prime. Thank you so much, Foes. I will add you a donator perk on the Discord right now. Thank you very much for supporting Charged with all that we do online. Thank you so much. Let's go find Foes. Of course, Foes had a fantastic performance in the CRC Championship on Wednesday. A really spectacular drive. Foes was doing the most daring round the outside overtakes, really pushing those medium tyres past their limit and doing some spectacular driving, and walked away with 3rd place in a massive pack where I think there were 4 or 5 drivers fighting for that 3rd place at pretty much any given time, and one false move and you could have slipped from 3rd to 6th or 7th. So great driving, Foes, on Wednesday. Thank you very much for subscribing with Twitch Prime to twitch.tv/ChargedSimRacing. The home of all charged content. Bruh. Iceman was looking good in practice, but I don't think he's quite got that perfect lap in yet. He's currently sitting on a 145 as Bogdan retakes pole back with a 137.7. Bogdan is absolutely flying today, and I think Redshift and Everystone are just scrambling a little bit to catch up to Alan and Bogdan at the front. Bot 212 is getting himself in some trouble, as is Anemone. I think a lot of guys are just pushing it a bit too hard right now. As Gumi takes 6th place with a 140.6. We saw him, of course, drifting that car around like a madman earlier, but I think he's got it tamed and getting some good lap times down right now. As Michael Ziomi is set to improve by a full second from his time. That's going to be good for him. Let's see as he just comes in around the start-finish. And it's a 143.7 from Michael Ziomi. You have Bot 212 and Jikusek still to set times. But there's 9 minutes left of qualifying. They've definitely got to. As we come back, we see Redshift absolutely pounding it round, trying to get round to getting another flying lap ready. You could definitely see some of these guys are really on the limit of grip with this car. Of course, being an older, early 90s car, it doesn't have the most substantial tyres, and it's a lot of power and quite a lot of weight too. And these are quite a lot of high-speed corners, and these cars don't have a whole lot of downforce, so it's just how quickly can you get the car turned in. It's about getting your weight transfer right, getting on the power, using the power to steer the car as well as the brakes through the corners, and just preserving that momentum. And I have to say, it's something Redshift will have been doing a lot of lately in the DRM cars, where he's been absolutely flying. He's one of the fastest drivers in the championship based on the first 2 rounds. So I'm sure Alan and Redshift, I think they're the only 2 drivers, along with Jukuzek from the DRM championship, who will have had experience with this kind of power and grip over the last couple of weeks anyway, at least. I do know that the E30 has an awful lot of popularity with drifters as well, so some of those guys who've got the car control down will definitely be able to master it. And now we're just moving into the closing stages of qualifying, as Zeif seems to have gotten a little bit of trouble there just aborting his lap. We still currently have Bogdan unmatched on pole with a fantastic 37.7. Alan and Redshift are hot on his heels, but neither... Oh, and as I say that, Jesus, Bogdan finds absolute super speed and goes even faster with a 37.2. That is an absolutely astounding lap, putting him now a second clear of Alan and Redshift, who need to find a little bit of time quite quickly if they are going to challenge Bogdan, but it looks like he's going to be somewhat unmatched today with his pace. That is very, very fast. Let's see how Alan is getting on. I believe Alan is on an outlap, looking like it, so he's coming around for one final shot. And let's see what about Redshift. He's also coming up to his hot lap, so let's see what Alan and Redshift can do. They should be able to get one more flying lap after this one. Redshift will at the very least. And oh my word, that is terrifying. Just carrying that speed all the way down. Absolute roller coaster of a track here. This looks fantastic. I wish I'd driven it now. This looks really good. But here I am with you guys in the commentary booth. Someone's got to do the stream. I think that might be it from Zeif. He looks to put it in the gravel one last time. I'm sure he's going to go back to the pits and that'll be it for Zeif. Anemone, Iceman and me are all in the pits at the moment, so Every Stone just looking to find some time, but I think he's just overcooked it, and that's going to be it for him almost certainly. There's no way he's recovering that lap. He's lucky he might be able to bring it around to the start-finish line and get another lap in, but that might just be it from Every Stone. Redshift is out on track. I can't tell what his delta says. It's a little bit confusing right now. What about Alan? What's Alan up to? Again, the delta timing is being a little bit weird. I can't tell what Alan's doing. He's coming around for what will be his final lap of the qualifying session. Zeif says, I am very, very slow. I mean, 5th place ain't bad. I think Bogdan's just really, really, really quick. Of course, looking forward to seeing that fantastic Forest livery that Bogdan always makes on pole position today. I always love the effort he puts into his cars. It's such a nice, cool design. I love the colours. And Alan's getting some traffic on his lap. I don't know if he's going to tell Jukusek to get out of his way, but luckily Jukusek does the job for him and has a little venture into the gravel. 2.6 seconds away from pole, says Zeif, but oh, and as I say, Redshift has just improved. He's managed to find a couple tenths, but he's still 6 tenths off Bogdan. This will almost certainly be his last lap, and Redshift puts it in the gravel, so that's going to be it from him. Almost certainly Bogdan will take pole today, unless Alan has something absolutely stupendous coming up. To see Alan wrestling that car, and he's not going to get another lap, so I don't know what the delta time says. I think it's going to be a bit of a slow lap, but it's not an improvement. It's just an improvement. It's a 37.9, so Alan is still in 3rd place. But I have to say, oh my word, he almost took it there. Barely 100th away from Redshift in 2nd place. Those two were really close all session, but it's going to be a great race between those guys, and hopefully one of them can break away and try and reel in Bogdan, who's going to be absolutely flying today. So hang about, and in a couple minutes we will have the first race. Just doing some flying around now, my virtual drone cam, trying to find a nice shot for turn one. This is possibly a bit too far back. Let's see, can I get the zoom in? No, that will be quite nice. That'll I can follow the cars all the way down through turn one from here and down the hill. That's perfect. We can see them all the way down to turn two. Excellent. And welcome back to twitch.tv/ChargedSimRacing. We are about to get going with our weekly race this week, of course, the BMW M3 E30 Group A here at BridgeHampton Raceway. Going to be a whole lot of super close action today. We've got Bogdan, Redshift and Alan definitely at the front. Those guys are going to be super quick. As I was saying earlier, it's a lot of weight transfer and sliding and steering the car on throttle here today. So it's all going to be about who can just keep that car pointed the right way and keep the momentum and speed up through the corners and the power on exits. Here we go. Lights are about to come on. Let's see, what can Redshift do off the line? Is there any chance he can jump Bogdan into turn one? And what can Alan do? It's a long straight to turn one, so going to be a whole lot of drafting. And oh my word, just look at that scatter. And Bogdan's had an absolutely terrible start. Bogdan has lost 5, 6, maybe even 7 places going off as Redshift has taken provisional pole, but Alan is sitting in second place with Zeif all the way up to third. We've got some knocking going on at the back there. I think that is Everystone and possibly Nick 20 who are getting into a little bit of trouble. But as they go down to turn 2 now, Zeif and Alan are fighting for second place. Oh, now there's some contact with an enemy, Michael Xiaomi and Jikuzek. Oh, that was a little bit unlucky there. I think they just had a bit of a rub, and there was nothing poor Jikuzek could do. The crash just happened right in front of him. Trying to have a little peep at the lead. Oh, and Bogdan's had an absolutely terrible start. Bogdan is now off and facing the wrong way. Oh, that's absolutely heartbreaking, and he's having to just try and really gently rejoin because you can't, of course, drive back onto an active racetrack. That is the worst luck for Bogdan. Oh, it's such a shame. Zeif, though, is hot on Alan's heels for second. Zeif seemed to lack the pace in qualifying, but he's finding it now. The race has started. Maybe he's now got some cars ahead of him to follow, and he's just getting in the groove. Bot 2-on-2, getting a big old slide there, looking fantastic. I'm sure Bogdan will be ready to charge his way back up the grid. And I'll tell you what, if he doesn't make his way all the way back up to the front, he will be absolutely storming in the reverse grid, as Zeif is still really hounding Alan. Alan, of course, a master of defensive driving, and he's saying absolutely no thanks, I want that second place. Huge pack here now as Bogdan is trying to work his way past Jikuzek and Bot 2-1-2. 3 wide going over the crest, and they make contact again, and unfortunately that's Jikuzek, and I think that might be an enemy. Oh, just getting spun out there, unfortunately. Doesn't go, but Zeif and Alan are still trading places, and Zeif is now ahead. Jack of all games saying Gumi Pod. Of course, Gumi is joining this fight for second place as Alan gets a big old drift there. Huge. That was Zeif, sorry, gets a huge drift, and Gumi is now looking to shoot the gap between both these guys. Let's try and go on board with him real quick. And oh my word, look at this super close pack racing for this second place here, as Zeif's maybe left himself a little bit open on the outside, and Gumi saying thank you very much, trying to come up the middle, but Zeif just keeps the momentum and holds on to third place for now. But Alan really trying to carve off his lines there. He's not letting anyone get up inside him, but just going a bit too deep on the gravel there. Zeif's going to have it on the exit. And what can Gumi do? He's trying to wrestle that big engine and just trying to keep it going. Oh, and poor Michael Xiaomi's off again. He's had a rough start to the race. As Bogdan moves up to 7th, he is finding his way back up the grid. He's just managed to keep himself out of trouble while some of his rivals have crashed. And that's Michael getting back going again. As, come on, Autocam. As Gumi is now right on Alan and Zeif again. Gumi's looking really good this week. A lot of support for Gumi in the chat, as always. Shout out to all of Gumi's friends here to watch him race. As they come across the line now, look at how close they are. That is Alan going side by side with Zeif. Let's see if I can get a better camera angle. Here we go. And Alan is going to just about have it, but Gumi is still up there, and he is absolutely charging. But as I say that, Redshift has just disappeared. He is already 6 seconds up the road. These guys have been fighting each other super hard, and Redshift has just disappeared. I'm sure he will be looking forward to reverse grid races. Iceman, who was just forming up on that pack for second place, just dips his toes in the gravel, but it shouldn't cost him too much time. If these guys keep fighting, he will be back up there, as poor Jikuzek is off again in last place. Unfortunately, he didn't have very much time to practice and just jumped in, but Michael Xiaomi and him are trading places for who can spin off the most, unfortunately, right now. Goes to show this is not a forgiving combo. This car can be a little bit tricky at times. It's a lot of power. Zeif and Alan still trading places. As Zeif is now back up into second place. Gumi wants his honey bun, says Nuji, of course. Did he ever get that honey bun? Wait, does he have to get a podium first? We'll find out. As Bogdan is passing Nick 20 to get back up into 6th place. His climb back up the grid is well and truly underway. He didn't get that honey bun, or maybe if he gets a podium this week he gets his honey bun. Zeif and Alan still going at it again, and Gumi looking to potentially shoot the gap. Just more and more side-by-side action the whole time. Alan is just ahead for now, and you can see that wide line he took there. Just let him carry so much more speed. Zeif might be coming under threat from Gr.A right now. Let's try and snatch some onboards from Gr.A. Let's see what he can do. Not too much sniper, unfortunately. Bogdan, after his fantastic pole lap, had a bit of trouble at the start of the race. He had a really rough start, and I believe he went off on the first lap, and he went all the way down to last, and he's now fighting his way back up. He is in 6th place. It was a great three-way fight for second here between Alan, Zeif, and Gr.A. But all the time they're fighting, Redshift has just disappeared. He is now 10 seconds up the road. Oh, Zeif catching a bit of the gravel there. Gr.A.'s going to absolutely be ripe for the pouncing. They are now side by side. And I think with the inside line here, but Gr.A.'s taking a bit of a shallow entrance. He might be understeering on exit. They might bring Zeif back into the fold. But again, all this fighting is just letting Alan get a little bit away. But Gr.A.'s doing a great job of holding off Zeif right now. As bot 2-on-2 and Gr.A still getting in trouble, but a little bit of a wide run from Gr.A has let Zeif back into 3rd place. But of course, when you run wide, you get to carry more speed on exit. Gr.A could just slot his car behind Zeif, might be able to slipstream a bit more, but of course, there's all these blind kind of off-camber tight curves here at BridgeHampton, these kind of high-speed, tricky curves. It's difficult to get behind and get in the slipstream. Hello, Adrian. Adrian, of course, saying the track is bumpy. I haven't driven it, but it does look so, doesn't it? Luckily, this car is quite an old and rolly kind of thing, so it suits these bumps nicely, and it's all about just how much can you roll that car through the long corners. As once again, turn 1 providing a bit of trouble for Zeif. His lines are too shallow, and he's just losing a bit of time. He can't carry that momentum. Gr.A does not like the car anymore, unfortunately, and has DNF. Sorry to hear that. But Gr.A is in 3rd, and he seems to be pulling away from Zeif a little bit, who's struggling just to keep that momentum on the car from corner to corner. Don't count out Iceman, who's a couple seconds back, though, and if any of these guys start fighting again, Iceman will be back up in there in no time. As Everystone is closing up on Nick20 for 7th place. Again, Everystone, really impressive in qualifying, but I think he got caught up in those early lap 1 instance, which has dropped him back. And now we can see that's a super late move from Nick20, who just misses the corner completely. That was a very aggressive blocking move there, and almost cost him, but I think Everystone is just remaining patient and taking his time to get back in there. Oh, and something has happened up the front, and Gr.A has dropped back, and Zeif has got back through. Sorry, I was trying to track that battle, but I didn't see what happened there. But I think Gr.A must have made a little bit of a mistake, because Zeif is now ahead by almost a second, so maybe that was a little dip in the gravel, but I'm sure that fight is not over yet. Gr.A seems to have the pace. Everystone is still pursuing Nick20. Let's try getting on board from him. Nick20 just a little bit wide there. Oh, Nick getting really wide on entry there. That might have cost him, and that might be what Everystone needs to get through. Let's try and find a better camera angle. Come on, BridgeHampton, come through for me. Sorry, it's a bit like the F1, where instead of seeing the only overtake of the race, you're seeing Serena Williams chilling in the pit crew. But let's see. Side by side coming into turn 1, and Nick20 holds off. I think Everystone must have had to lift out there. Oh, but Nick just putting it in the gravel, going a bit too wide at turn 1, but just holding the car together. And I think Everystone knows that they are quite a long way back from Iceman in 6th place, so you know, these two are the only guys that are going to be fighting each other out of these two, so I'm guessing Everystone's got the time to get the move done, just kind of pushing Nick into making a little bit of a mistake and running wide like he has been doing for the last lap or so, just sitting behind him and making sure while he just goes on a bit. Yeah, Redshift has had a pretty easy run up the front today. Of course, his main rival for the race was Bogdan, who was incredibly quick in qualifying, but he just had a really rough start. But Bogdan is catching up. He's got past Iceman, and he's now only 5 seconds away from Gr.A, Zeif, and Alan. And based on his pace, he very well might catch some of those guys before the end. But I was saying it in qualifying, Redshift doesn't need to do a whole lot of laps to get his pace up, and he got faster and faster as the session went on. Now he's in the race, he's fully getting it. So let's look at lap times. Alan with a 39.4, that's a nice lap from him. Let's see, Zyfe is doing a 41, Gumi a 42. What is Bogdan doing? But I can tell you that gap is already coming down with a 39. So within a couple of laps, Bogdan will be fighting back for the podium again. So keep your eyes on that one. And while I was talking, Everystone has got past Nick 20, and I imagine that gap is going to extend quite a little bit now. Everystone might have a bit of a quiet race from this moment on. But Gumi is catching back up to Zyfe again. It didn't take him too long to pull that 1 second gap back in. And you can just see that Gumi is getting tighter lines through all of these corners and just carrying so much more of that speed through than Zyfe is. All of Zyfe's lines look a little bit conservative today, but Bogdan is thundering up behind them. The gap is now under 3 seconds. It is really, really coming down, especially with these two fighting each other. So I think both of them might be sacrificing the podium place, fighting each other to Bogdan. The gap is now under 2 seconds. It's incredible how fast Bogdan is just reeling both these guys in. And they're coming up to the, I believe that is the lapped bot 212, who's might be a little bit of trouble for these guys. That is a big old pack, and Bogdan seems to have got past Zyfe. Zyfe must have had a little bit of an off or a little mistake there, but he is now through. But bot 212 just potentially being a problem. I'm sure Bogdan and Gumi are getting on the mic saying, "Get out the way, bruh." And bot 212 just lets the lap cast back fast, but Bogdan is so on Gumi already. Zyfe seems to have just disappeared. That mistake must have really put him on. Tyre and fuel wear is on, but I don't believe it. Bogdan and Gumi have tandemed, and someone else has gone off too. That is bot 212. We had a triple spin there, and poor Iceman is now jumping into the mix, and Bogdan has just gone round again. He's been so unlucky today. I'm not sure what happened there. There might have been some contact, but it looked like they both went off at the same time. But yes, tyre and fuel wear are on. So these tyres will be getting hot. They will start to heat up and lose some condition, and the tyre pressures are going to shoot up as the race goes on, especially on the rears. But what a shame for Bogdan, all that effort catching back up, and now he's got to do the whole thing again. I'm not sure what happened with him and Gumi there. I think they just had a little bit of contact, or it looked like they almost went off at the same time. Well, of course, crashing is a part of casual online racing, such as our weeklies. You know, none of these guys have done a massive amount of practice for this. It's especially with championships on, the weeklies do tend to get a little bit more casual and a bit more for fun only and just bragging rights. But if you want to see more practiced and rehearsed racing, definitely check out our championships on Wednesdays and Fridays. That's the real prize that everyone's going for. Everyone wants to be the charge champion for the next month or so. It is funny though, when we don't have major events on, like endurance races or championships, the weeklies do get very competitive. People put in several hours of practice, and you see guys really pushing and going for it each week. Everyone wants to win. But after that contact, Zyfe is now in third place, albeit 14 seconds behind Alan, so I don't think he's going to be going anywhere. But if Zyfe makes a little bit of a mistake, Gumi could catch up. He, of course, was far luckier, but as I say that, Alan has had a very uncharacteristic dip in the gravel. I don't think it's going to quite cost him the monumental 15-second gap that he has over Zyfe, but I'm sure Alan won't mind too much. Well, I don't think people join to lose, but I think some people aren't concerned about winning when they join. They're just concerned about having fun. But there are some people who are ultra competitive, and every week they want to be banging it out. And we have 22 people on Twitch watching. Shout out everyone. You are watching twitch.tv/ChargedSimRacing, the home of all of the fantastic content from Charged Sim Racing, the community. We have 4 awesome events on each week at the moment. We have our weekly races on Sunday, which are typically more of a casual affair, and everyone just kind of has fun, but they are still fully broadcast with commentary and formal real stewarding performed by human beings. We also have Fun Mondays, which are a very casual kind of just drop in, almost like an open lobby. You can have a bit of fun there. We have 2 championships on Wednesdays and Friday. Our CRC, which is our modern BMW M2 championship, and then CRM, our Group 5 1980s DRM cars, running at fantastic, scary ass old circuits. And that's the championship for definitely the fastest and bravest drivers in charge, going and giving it their all over 1 hour, managing a huge amount of turbo pressure and boost, and keeping it rolling. Yeah, we have our Discord member. Oh, and an enemy has really gone off. Not sure what happened there. He's potentially fallen through the wall and got stuck. I'm not quite sure, but he's had a huge off. Hopefully an enemy is not rejoining into the path of any cars. I think he's just gotten away with it. I think he's on his own on track right now, but that was a little bit scary. But of course, Charged Sim Racing is our fantastic Discord community. We have over 700 members. I think we have almost about 750 now, as Redshift is just lapping. I'm not sure who that is. That might be an enemy after his trip through the woods. But yeah, over 700 members in our fantastic Discord. We have a set of Corsa events 4 days a week. We also have a fantastic amount of other stuff. There's stuff going on every single day. We have a great community, lots of awesome people to hang out with. Definitely give it a join if you're not a member already. Discord.me/charged. Of course, we do have currently 4 events a week on twitch.tv/chargedsimracing as well, so feel free to follow or subscribe with Prime, if you feel like it. But yeah, it's just me in the commentary booth today. It's a little bit quiet at the moment because everyone's busy. Hello, Ramos, how's it going? It's very good today. I was just saying it's a little bit quiet this week as everyone's busy with the championships, and also there was a lot of other racing going on this week in various Assetto Corsa communities that kept our members busy. And yeah, just watching the race. It's a little bit quiet at the moment. There aren't too many battles going on. I think the battles have mostly been won and lost in this round already. Redshift has an absolutely insurmountable lead over Alan. He's currently 18 seconds clear. And Zyfe hasn't really managed to catch up that gap either over the last few laps. Gumi is trundling along, but Bogdan is reeling him in at about 3 seconds a lap. And they are going to go for round 2 Electric Boogaloo. Let's follow these guys for the last couple of minutes. Of course, Bogdan and Gumi were battling for 3rd place when I believe either they tandem spun or had a little bit of contact and both went off at turn 1. Or Gumi getting a little bit wide there. Bogdan has been monstrously fast this race, but he's just had the worst luck. So it'd be really good to see if Bogdan can fight his way back up the grid. He should have been on for maybe even a 2nd place if he hadn't had that crash today. Of course, I'm sure Ramos is gearing up for a monster stewarding session that we have coming up after the race today with all the staff team from Charged. Oh, and Gumi has put it in the gravel, and that is just going to open the door for Bogdan for 4th place. Gumi has fought really valiantly today. It was so unlucky they had that spin. He almost certainly gifted 3rd place to Zyfe with that, but he's had a really, really good race, and he's really held off some fantastically quick drivers in the last 20 minutes. So good job to Gumi. He's definitely an honorary champion of the day. But yeah, we have stewarding for CRM and CRC coming up after this race for the staff team, so that's going to be a whole lot of fun. It's going to be a long night, so get the beers in. Make yourself a sandwich. Everystone is catching up to Iceman. I said earlier that I thought Everystone would have a bit of a quiet race after passing Nick 20, but he's really brought that gap down, and there is now a chance he could make up 1 more place. Of course, Iceman had a little bit of a prang when that Bogdan and Gumi accident happened. He couldn't really avoid it and ended up spearing into Bogdan, so maybe that's going to give Everystone just the amount of time he needs to take that 6th place. Stream the stewarding. Oh god, no, Lantern. We know about that one. we know about that one. No, streaming the stewarding session is a terrible idea. Mostly because you would hear the language that Charged staff use behind closed doors. As bot 212 just getting in a little bit of trouble there. Come on, Autocam. I want to see Iceman versus Everystone. Oh, and Iceman has the overspeed here. Has he got just about enough of a run? And that's a really, really late move from Everystone, but I think he's just going to back out of it just for now. Iceman is holding on round the outside. That was a really, really good move there from Everystone, but he didn't quite have the space to get the move done, but he is keeping that pressure on Iceman. And as we saw, when Everystone was battling Nick 20 earlier, he was just really good at keeping that pressure on and not going for anything silly and just waiting for the other driver to run a bit wide or get a bit of a poor exit before he really committed to a move. Yes, there are penalties for egregious contacts. We have a system which is unique in Assetto Corsa that I say we, I mean Ramos has built himself. I know he did it with some help from Merid Barrow and a couple other guys as well. We have our own unique stewarding system where we see every single contact that happens on track. We can filter out the irrelevant ones, and then with a system that not automatically, that pretty much instantly jumps to that instant on the global replay, which we have and share. We can see and review any instant with telemetry, as many camera angles as we want, and it allows us to be really, really fair and thorough. Lantern has an instant needing review. If you haven't reported it yet, stick it in the report chat and we will get it done. We of course can see all contacts, but if you have something like a bad rejoin or someone blocking you or brake checking you that didn't result in a contact, you can of course manually report them. Yeah, we do take our stewarding very seriously, and we believe we have some of the fairest and most thorough stewarding out of everyone in Assetto Corsa. So we love to encourage clean racing here at Charged, and anyone who tries to take advantage of that will get punished. Oh, and Gumi is somehow ahead of Bogdan again. I'm not quite sure what happened because Bogdan has just been screaming along with the pace. The leader is on the final lap right now. Let's go and see where Redshift is on the track. He is coming around the final corner. I'll try and keep an eye. Oh no, and something has happened. Everystone has gone off. I don't think he was quite within striking distance of Iceman. That is a terrible shame. That was a really, really good charge from Everystone. But of course, there is the reverse grid race as Redshift drifting across the line. Unfortunately, he had no competition. He was pretty much unmatched today after Bogdan had some terrible luck off the line. But I'm sure Redshift will be happy. And Alan is going to take second place as well with a pretty quiet drive. There was some intense battling going on with Alan, Zeif, Gumi and a couple other guys earlier on in the race, but Alan managed to keep his cool and hold on for second place. And I tell you what, Zeif was complaining about his pace today, but he is going to be super happy about coming around and taking third place. He managed to hold off some really, really fast guys, and he was lucky that Bogdan and Gumi both crashed without involving him, so a nice little weave across the line from Zeif, and he will be very happy. But it looks like Gumi is going to hold off Bogdan. I think with Bogdan's superior pace today, he was absolutely splittingly fast. He might have just overcooked his tyres. And it's a great shame that Bogdan takes 5th place. He was so quick today, but he just had the worst luck in race 1. But of course, we do have our reverse grid race coming up next. Of course, yeah, Redshift is incredibly fast. He's one of those drivers who can just jump in with no practice and instantly find the time. And Iceman takes a very nice 6th place, managing to capitalise from Everystone's mistake. And it's been a great drive, couple drives from Iceman over the last couple of weeks. I've been super impressed with his performances. And Everystone, really, really good charge. He had some earlier instances that were unfortunate and weren't his fault, but good drive from Everystone to fight back up to 7th, and Nick 20 will take 8th, an enemy 9th, Michael Ziomi and Bot 212 round out the pack. And just in a couple minutes we have race 2 coming up, reverse grid. So it's going to be about how quick can these fast guys fight their way through traffic. Ultimate challenge. And we are back on twitch.tv/ChargedSimRacing. I tell you what, my proudest achievement of today is that we've had good FPS today. We've had, last couple streams I've done, we've had some really rubbish FPS. So let me just check my RenderStat CSP. We've been pretty much pinned at 60 the whole time today, so I'm very happy. I did a couple of little tweaks and fiddles on my Streamlabs and on my Assetto Corsa, and Really happy with how the stream's looked, and we haven't had a PowerPoint presentation unlike last time I hosted a stream on Wednesday. Just getting my free cam into place for the start of the race so I can follow all the cars off the start down through turn 1. Can just move down a little bit. This will give us a nice wide view of everything that goes on. Of course, a whole lot of support for Gr.A in the chat, so let's hope he can take advantage of that reverse grid race and make his way through. He is going to start behind Bogdan on the grid, so I tell you what, if Gr.A can follow Bogdan through the pack, because Bogdan's pace has been fantastic this week, there is a very good chance Gr.A could walk away with a podium this week. So we are 3 minutes away from the start of the race, so get yourself a drink, maybe have a little pee, and it's all going to be good. POV, you are God trying to watch the Sunday race. Hello, Gr.A. You've got a lot of support today in the chat. A lot of people behind you. Great driving in race 1. Looking forward to seeing you run in race 2. Gr.A says he's going to win, so let's go for it. If you're still there, Gr.A, what happened with you and Bogdan? I didn't see the whole incident, but it looked like you both tandem spun out at the same time. Was there any contact? Ah, well, of course, that will be a job for the stewards to take a look at. Stewarding for the weeklies will take place in the week. But after the race day, we will be doing championship stewarding, so expect results hopefully tonight for CRM and CRC. Bogdan is disconnected. No, let's hope he can get himself back. We have 2 minutes until the start of the race. Hopefully he comes back and doesn't load into another car, which sometimes happens in AC. Oh, I'd be devastated if Bogdan didn't make race 2. He was so fast this week, but just had the worst luck in the first race. And Bogdan has loaded back. Hopefully he's in his original grid slot. It looks like he is, so that's all good for him. Oh, Bogdan has gone again. I think he may have loaded into Everystone's car there. I really hope he didn't. Oh, no. Oh, 2 cars inside each other. Oh no, yeah. That must have happened when Bogdan disconnected and when he loaded back in. That is a really unfortunately common glitch in a set of course, so I don't know why it happens. The same thing happened to me at the Beetle Super Cup race at Alton Park a few weeks back. I was really looking forward to race 2, and then I loaded back inside Bogdan's car, funnily enough, and I had to sit the race out. CD saying that the steering wheel's been disconnected. Oh no! Oh, Bogdan's had the absolute worst luck today. He was so fast in qualifying, and just his whole race he had the worst luck. And now the final countdown has begun. The lights are coming on. Bot 212 will start on pole with Michael Ziomi in second place in this reverse grid race. The fight, I think Bogdan is not going to make the grid, unfortunately. This is such a shame. The fight is going to be how quickly can Redshift make his way up the grid, and that's a monstrous start, I believe, from Nick 20. Hopefully he didn't jump the start there. Everystone has lost some places off the start as well. I believe that his Redshift has already climbed up, I think 3 places going into turn 1. It's luckily all nice and clean through there. Bogdan has rejoined, but he's starting at the back. And we have 3 cars running wide, and there's contact. I believe that is Gr.A is off. Oh no, he said he was going to win it, but unfortunately Gr.A just putting it onto the gravel on those cold tyres. Bot 212 is off. Zyfe getting held up a little bit now, but Iceman is in first place. Redshift is already up to 4th, just trading places with Zyfe, as you can see here from an enemy's car. But that's rotten luck for Gr.A, unfortunately. Just a bit too ambitious. Nick 20 passing Michael Ziomi for second place. Alan currently going side by side with Redshift, and looks like Redshift had a little bit of a slide there and lost some momentum. but I'm sure he will have a great time getting past these guys over the next couple laps. Super, super close pack as they come down. Oh, and Gumi is off again, unfortunately. Oh, and there's been a huge crash, and Zeif is off, as is Alan. And Nick 20, I'm not quite sure what happened there. Let's put Redshift up to third, pretty much guaranteeing his double victory today. But unfortunately, it's just all come down. Let's go and have a look at Redshift on board, because he is going to be carving his way through these guys. Of course, being a reverse grid race, the last finishers from the first race will start at the front, and Redshift has already worked his way up from 11th to 3rd within one lap. Everystone passing an enemy, getting up to 4th place. This will be a nice opportunity for Everystone to get a good podium. He was really good in round 1, but just a little bit unlucky with some of his incidents. And Redshift just carrying so much speed, he's absolutely wasting no time, saying thank you very much, I will take that second. And I think Michael Ziomi is absolutely terrified and just goes, okay, take my place, but just don't hurt me. And now there's 2.2 seconds between Redshift and Iceman. Let's see how quickly he can reel that one in. Gumi comeback, let's go. He's already in 9th place, so the gaps are not that big. And with Gumi's pace from the first race and his good wheel-to-wheel action, he could definitely make up some places. But he's got to pass Zeif and Alan to get up there, so that's going to be a challenge. An enemy and Everystone trading places again, unfortunately. Looks like Everystone's bad luck is still continuing. Just look at that gap come down. In half a lap, Redshift's taken out a second on Iceman already. And the trickiest, slowest part of the track is coming up right now. And if at any point you want to see full onboards, oh, sorry, excuse me, I've got the hiccups. We always post our replays. Oh no, and Bogdan is off. We always post our replays on the replay channel, and that's it from Bogdan, unfortunately. Looks like whatever problem he was having has not subsided. I've got the hiccups. But yeah, we always post our replays on the replays channel after the race, and there you can view every car's perspective from every camera angle and every single lap at 5 times speed or 12 times slow or whatever speed you like. And I believe the auto cam has gotten stuck. I'm just going to turn that off. There we go. As Iceman sitting in 2nd place now. Doing a great job holding on so far, but I have to say watch out for Everystone in 4th place here. I'm sure will be making his way back up. Zeif and Alan are probably spending a little bit too much time battling each other. Let's try and grab Zeif as he sits behind Nick 20. Alan about 6 seconds behind following that crash at the start of the race. Zeif is still taking his time to try and pass Nick 20. I have to say, once he does get past, he's going to have a bit of a gap to catch up Michael Ziomi and then Everystone, so it's going to be difficult for Zeif fully to recover all the time he's spending behind Nick 20 right now. It's time that's going to be lost from the cars ahead, so he's really got to get a move on. He's losing a whole bunch of time right now. But a bad exit has just let Nick 20 pull away a little bit, as Michael Ziomi is now past Everystone. I was expecting Everystone to be climbing his way up the grid and potentially challenging for 2nd place, but currently it looks like an enemy is reeling in Iceman up the front. And Michael Ziomi passing Everystone, but oh my word, that is scary getting on that gravel runoff there. You do not want to do that. That's going to hurt your momentum and really unsettle the car, bringing Everystone back into the mix now. And I think Everystone's going to have the inside line going into turn 3. That's a confident move from Everystone. I'm sure he's going to enjoy taking that place back. What can an enemy do? Can he reel in Iceman and get that second place? Ooh, and there's been a bit of contact there. Alan and Nick 20 getting a little bit rough through turn 1, but luckily all surviving. And an enemy is in third, but Michael Ziomi has got back past Everystone, so that battle still continues. It's such a shame. Everystone has had really good pace this race, but he's just making little mistakes. And the whole time this is going on, it is bringing Zyph into the mix as Michael Ziomi now goes fully across the sand, and woof! He's probably going to cost Everystone time when he goes defensive as well, so... Once again, they trade places, but Zyph, Nick 20 and Alan are all thundering into the mix, and Michael running wide again. He's just struggling to keep the car on the track a little bit right now, it seems. And he's almost certainly going to lose that 5th place to Zyph. Now what can Zyph do? He's back on track. Can he make his way back up the grid? He's finally escaped the backmarker hell after that kind of weird turn 1 crash, as I'm sure stewards will take a look at. But an enemy is right on Iceman now. Let's see what he can do. An enemy not quite using the full slipstream there. If he was sticking a bit closer behind Iceman, he'd get a bit more of a pull going up the hill, but he just was a little bit too much in the clean air there, and it's going to cost him even a few hundreds. Oh my word, and an enemy just splitting the difference over that tyre sticking out the ground. If you get that wrong, you are going to space. But Iceman is maintaining the gap right now. Let's see what can an enemy do. He's got a little bit of overspeed coming out that last exit. But there just isn't quite the overtaking overlap just yet. An enemy's taking their time though, taking his time, being patient, just trying to set that move up on Ice. Does Tujin get you extra points? Unfortunately not, although Assetto Corsa does have like a drift points mechanic thing on the server manager. I've never tried it and I think it's kind of weird because most of those Assetto Corsa server manager kind of quirks are a bit gimmicky. But oh no, an enemy looks like he's half spun and now fully spun the car. Oh no, and that's in a really tricky place. Is an enemy going to spin turn the car on the track? He's just about got time, but he's now off the track. As Everystone comes thundering past and Zyph, that's a real shame for an enemy. We're out looking at a really good drive there, but that is pretty much going to guarantee Iceman second place unless he has any major instance. But we now have a huge mid-pack of cars here right now. We have Everystone, Zyph, an enemy and Alan all really, really close to each other. Any one of these guys could be walking away with third place today, and Michael Ziomi as well. Of course, poor Gumi after his first lap crash is still in 15th. Sorry, in 9th. What am I talking about? Ugh, I'm really tired, sorry. The fun's only just begun for tonight as well, with multiple championships of stewarding to come later tonight. Unfortunately, Autocam is missing all the overtakes as always, so an enemy and Michael Ziomi trading places. Michael now into 6th, but once again he's on the gravel and unfortunately there's contact. Not much an enemy could have done about that. Unfortunately, Michael started spinning and they were so close nothing really could happen, but Michael is now pretty much out of contention for that top 6. Although Alan and Zyph, who've had lots of great battles today, are now super close on track. What can Alan do? Of course, both their races were spited. Oh no, and there's been a bit of a punt. Oh, luckily both drivers keep it on the track. That was a great bit of recovery driving from both those guys there. I think Zypher's a little bit slower, and Alan might have broke himself a tiny bit there, but the fight still goes on. But once these guys are done fighting, I think every stone a couple seconds up the road is ripe for the picking. Nick 20 has now got past Michael Ziomi, who has been really, really quick when he's kept it on the track, but when he's just been off the track too often, unfortunately. Redshift, of course, is 15 seconds ahead and pretty much just cruising at this point. He does not have a care in the world, unfortunately. No one's been able to match him in the race today. Bogdan was super fast in qualifying and looked really impressive, but he just had the worst luck in both races, unfortunately. And I thought Bogdan was going to win both of these races quite comfortably based on his qualifying pace, but unfortunately that lovely Forest livery will have to wait another week to see its win. Such a shame. Zyph has just dropped back off Alan now. I think wasn't Zyph ahead? He was, so Alan must have got ahead somehow. Again, the camera must have just completely missed it, but Alan is now ahead, and I don't think Zyph's going to quite manage to catch him back up again. But if Alan can keep the hammer down, he has a good chance of catching every stone for third by the end of the race. But currently, Iceman, the absolute hero, in second place, really, really driving well today. Oh, Bogdan, that's so unlucky. You're doing so well today, unfortunately. Really, really good in qualifying. Just the absolute worst luck. Commiserations, unfortunately. Well, you'll get him next time. As Bot 212 does a bit of excursionary driving with some accidental Kansei Driftu off into the gravel. Hopefully he rejoins. Oh, there's cars coming. Let's hope he doesn't rejoin on the track. Don't do that. No, he doesn't. Bot 212 knows what he's doing. That's some smart driving there. Just taking his time and letting, I think that might have been Redshift in the lead, continue on unimpeded. Gr.A, why are you not racing? What have you been up to? We have 26 people now watching the Twitch. I tell you what, I know majority of you guys are going to be from Charged. Why are you not in the race? Why do we only have 10 people in the race? And 26 people watching the Twitch. Go get in the car, do some laps. Oh dear, it would certainly give me more to talk about. Alan has completed his task of catching up to every stone. Let's see if he can get that move done and secure that podium place. Unfortunately, Alan did really well getting a second place in the first race, but was just caught up in some odd crashing at the start of race 2, so let's see if he can complete a double podium for this week. Same as last week. Sniper Soldier is supposed to be studying for your exam tomorrow, but you're here watching on Twitch, so why not be driving too? Alan just being super patient and taking his time, trying to pick his move on every stone. If you do it right the first time, you don't need to do it again. I think that's definitely Alan's approach here today. He's not rushing with a reckless move. He's just scoping his rival out, seeing how every stone is driving, where he's fast, where he's slow, and seeing where Alan might be able to get a move. But that was a little bit of a slide there from every stone coming up the final corner, and Alan's using that slipstream really well. He's getting some overspeed now. He's going to have the inside line going into turn 1. Oh, Gr.A's racing tomorrow, so perfect, we'll see you then. And Alan is very confidently through. Again, like I said, if you do it right, you only need to do it once, and that's definitely Alan's philosophy right there. That was a very smooth overtake. I think catching Iceman might be a bit too much. He's 5 seconds up the road. That might be a bit out of Alan's realm, but you never know. If he keeps his foot down, it very well might happen. And that is a lapped Bot 212 just diving out the way and letting these guys through. That's a nice bit of sportsmanship from Bot 212. Gumi comeback. He is in 8th place right now, 4 seconds off Michael Ziomi. He's got to really put his foot down. I think Gumi's heart and soul have kind of fallen out of the race a little bit here. I haven't seen too much of his pace that he had in the first race, unfortunately. It's so heartbreaking when you have a big old crash in lap 1. It just kills your vibe, and it's hard to get back that energy that you had and make your way back up the grid.
I will be very interested to see Alan and Iceman's lap times at the end of the lap, because if Alan can really make up about 2 seconds a lap, he has a chance of catching Iceman here. Frisco, I think I am using Sol Extra PP filter. Let's go have a look. I am, just use Sol Extra, nothing too fancy. I do have a whole lot of CSP tweaks and stuff like that to make the game look really nice for the stream. And I'll tell you what, I'm super happy because I've gotten 60 FPS all through the session today. When the last couple of streams were looking really bad for frame rates, it was like almost like a PowerPoint presentation. So yeah, I'm just using CSP 1.73. 1.74 crashes my damn game. So I'm using 1.73 with a couple of tweaks and things that I've just fine-tuned over the last month or two. And, oh no, Michael Ziomi is off. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but Gumi is now into 8th place. And that gap with Alan and Iceman is coming down. Alan's last lap was a 39.0. Iceman's was a 42.0. So, there is a chance Alan could get 2nd place. Double seconds again. I'll tell you what, Everystone is doing a good job of sitting behind Alan as well. So if Iceman's pace is really dropping off here, this could be a drastic change to the podium in these dying moments of the race. We shall see what happens. Tell you what, I am absolutely shattered and I have to go to work tomorrow. It's a bank holiday in England tomorrow, so all of my boomer neighbours are out in their garden being loud and irritating and keeping me awake and waking me up early in the morning. So I haven't slept as much as I would have liked to over the weekend. Hopefully they don't impede my ability to sleep tonight and I can wake up and do my work tomorrow without feeling too bad. I've had this terrible crick in my neck for like almost 2 weeks now. It's doing my head in. It's like, oh, pure pain. Let's see, we might be on the final lap here, but Redshift is so far ahead. I believe he is just gone round turn 1, possibly, and Redshift is just drifting at this point. Redshift is just having a great time. So I think if he carries on his pace, and Gumi's made another place, passing his pal Nick 20 for 7th place, so the Gumi comeback is on. But Alan is now really on Iceman. This is probably going to be the last lap as Redshift just keeps drifting it round. He doesn't want to do another lap, I think. He's had enough. He's dominated both races completely uncontested, but Alan might be running out of time to pass Iceman here. He's got to get a move on pretty quickly. 31 seconds of track time still to go, and Redshift is just absolutely hooning it around there. He is having a whole lot of fun right now. I know Redshift has been one of the guys on the Drift server over the last couple of days, but Alan might just be able to get the move done on Iceman. I want to see Redshift's drifting, but Alan's got the move done. Alan will get second. What can Everystone do? I think Redshift is somewhat slowing down to avoid doing another lap because he doesn't need to. This will almost certainly be the last lap. Let's see, can Everystone catch up to Iceman before the end? Just watching on the radar to see when Redshift's going to come across the line. We can go to him now, and Redshift drifting for the entire final lap, at the very least, takes victory in race 2. He has been unmatched today, unfortunately. Bogdan had some issues in race 1 and race 2 and couldn't give him competition despite his blistering qualifying pace, so Redshift totally unmatched, and he's now doing some absolutely insane drifting. And I don't believe it, on the line, while I was looking at that, unfortunately, I missed Everystone, apologies, get past Iceman. I'm not sure if that happened before the line, we will have to see. Sometimes that'll be the ACTV can lie to us, we will have to check the timing on the server, but I think Everystone just got past Iceman on the line. Alan is second, Everystone third, Iceman fourth, poor Zyph after that crash coming in fifth, and an enemy sixth. Gumi seventh. Gumi was looking really good for race 2, but unfortunately he just had a lap 1 incident. Still not sure between who came third and fourth out of Iceman. That'll be definitely one for the stewarding and the server session. Gr.A says he's down to battle Redshift in some drift action, so get on that Discord and get him up for it whenever you're ready. We still have some guys just finishing the race, like Gumi's coming across the finish line now, and Michael Ziomi as well shouldn't be too far behind. And Bot212, I think he's now gone back to the pits that he's done. We're just waiting on Michael Ziomi to finish. Anyway, that's going to be it all from us here today at twitch.tv/ChargesandRacing. Thank you very much for watching. We will be back tomorrow for Fun Mondays, and we will have CRC on Wednesday and CRM on Friday. Poor enemy almost had that P2 until he spun out. Great drive today. Looking forward to seeing you race next week and beyond. That's going to be it from me, your boy James, aka Flat Earth Mum, aka Tired Neck Hurt Boy. I'm now going to go do stewarding for probably 2 hours, and I'm going to go to bed. So have a good weekend, have a good bank holiday if you're in England, everyone, or wherever you are, who knows. And we'll see you guys very soon. Bye bye.